Hello and welcome to our Zoom 101 for Synod Assembly. This is just to show you a little bit about how to work Zoom and some of the things you might need to know. To join a Zoom meeting, you will see a link similar to this. When you click on this link, it will take you to another window where it will automatically pull up the Zoom window, or if it does not, you can click Launch Meeting room that we were all in. So after we're on Zoom, another important thing to know is how to turn on and off your video. So if you go down to the bottom left-hand corner, you will see a stop video function with a little video camera. So if you click on it, it will turn your video off. And you can see when your video is off, there's a little red line through the video thing. So when your video is off, you click on it again, and it turns yourself back on. And when your video is on, there will not be a red line through the video camera. Another useful tip is how to change your name. During the Synod Assembly, we do want your name to be on as the name that you registered under, just so we can know who is voting and who you are. So if you go up to the three dots, you can scroll all the way down to the bottom after you click on it and choose the rename and type in the name that you would like to change to. Push OK and it will change your name. So as you can see, Brenda logged on and her name was different. And that does not help us to know who you are. So she changed it to her voting name. Another important feature to know is the mute button. This is right beside your stop video. And when you are muted, you will see a red line through your video, and you'll also see a little mute button right over here. When you are asked to unmute at specific times during the assembly, when you are asked to talk, you can go down to the bottom and click unmute, and you'll see that red line disappear, and now other people can hear you when you are speaking. Do ask that you remain muted, because when you are unmuted, it becomes a distraction during the event, and it is. If you are a distraction and become unmuted, we do have the power as a host to mute you, and we will mute your video just to keep distractions at a minimum. We will also be using the chat function at this event. So the chat can be found at the middle of your screen down here. Once you click the chat button, it will open up a separate screen on the side of your Zoom. It will automatically go to send messages to everybody, except certain times during the assembly, we might have it set so you can only message certain people, or we might have the chat function off, just to keep distractions at a minimum. You can also message somebody privately by clicking on this everybody and clicking the person that you would like to message and typing a message to them. You can also see when somebody chats to you individually, because it will say their name and then a little red direct message rather than to everybody that you can normally see. Make sure to click it back to everybody though when you would like to chat with the whole group. We do ask during the assembly that we keep chat to a minimum just to keep that whole white noise down. And so there will only be specific times when we ask that you use the chat.
Another helpful function we'll be using during Synod Assembly is live interpretation for Spanish speakers. To access this interpretation, you simply go to the bottom bar on your Zoom screen, where you will see this interpretation button. If you click on that, it will give you options for Spanish or English interpretation. And you just click on that and you'll be connected to that. In the interpretation function, you should be able to alternate the volume between what you're hearing from the main presentation and the interpretation, so it's whatever you're most comfortable with. You will also be able to interact directly with your interpreters. so that if you need any clarifying questions, or if you would like to respond to something and speak to the entire group, that they will be there to help with that as well.
During the assembly, specifically during voting, you will have time for you to raise your hand to get in line. To raise your hand, if you go down to the reactions and click on it, at the very bottom, you have a raise hand button. Once you tap it, it will move your video to the top, and then the next person to click it after you will be moved right after, and so you'll be put in order of how quickly you raised your hand. And then you will be called on to speak after your hand is raised. If you want to lower your hand, click on that reaction button again and push lower. If you are not seeing this on your Zoom screen, it means that you do not have the most recent updated version of Zoom. So please keep watching this video and we will show you how to update your Zoom to get the most recent version. For the assembly, we do ask that you have the most recently updated version of Zoom. This will give you many of the functions that we will be using during this event. To find the most recent updated version of Zoom, go to your Zoom app on your computer, which can either be found on your home screen, off to the side in one of those little bubbles, or one of the the search and the start view. Once you have it open, it will look like this screen here, and you go to the top right where you can see your little initials. Click on that and scroll down to check for updates. Once you click, you will see updates are available, or if you have the most recent version.
One helpful tool that we have for all voting members is a voting members portal. So if you are on the Minneapolis Area Synod website and you scroll down towards the bottom and click on the Synod Assembly details, a password protected voting member portal link is available. This is a password protected site, so you will have to enter the password that you were sent during your registration. And from here, you have a lot of resources. You have all of the resolution information, video links to important videos we'll be sharing, all the annual reports that we are also sharing, and it will allow you to learn more about the people in our church, in our Synod leadership. The other helpful thing that you'll find on this page is the Zoom link, your credentialing link, and all of the voting links. This is the place where you will be able to find access to all of these things that are very important for you as a voting member. If you are a voting member and you are simultaneously on Zoom but also need to be voting, that can be a little tricky. The way to do that is to simply go up to the top of your screen, and if you're on a Mac, in the left-hand corner, you can exit full screen by clicking the screen button. If you're on a PC, it will be in the top right-hand corner, a similar looking button that will minimize your screen down a little bit. That will make it smaller. And then you will be able to add, you'll be able to have two screens open at once. You'll be able to have your Zoom screen and your voting portal at the same time. You can also change the size by simply clicking on the edge of the window, so that you can make whatever you need to be bigger or smaller, the size that is best for you.
You can also see when somebody's sharing their screen, such as Brenda was, the Zoom portal will automatically go to a large screen view to fit your full computer screen. To get rid of this, you can just push escape on your computer, or like Brenda was talking about with the split screen, if you're on a PC, go up to the top right and click this little two-screen button and it will go back to a smaller view. If you're on a Mac, it'll be at the top left. Once the day is done and you are ready to leave our Synod Assembly, once again, if you go to the bottom right hand of your screen, you will see a leave button. Once you push that, you will get a leave meeting and you can click it and you will leave the meeting. Thanks for watching. Bye.